That's how you make venison in Illinois. In this week's Deer Talk, we're going to take a look at ecotones and how they can help you as a hunter pinpoint deer activity. First of all, let's define an ecotone. An ecotone is a transition between two biological communities. We're going to give you some examples here that you can use in real life on your property to better pinpoint deer activity and know where to hang your tree stands. Converging ecotones are great spots to hunt, period. In fact, they are possibly the number one factor to finding consistently productive spots on public land. Such areas can certainly be found through hands-on scouting, but you'll waste a lot of time and energy if you go that route. Use aerial photos and topographical maps instead, and highlight several options before you hit the woods. To make the most of your time, look for basic overlapping areas such as swamps and mature hardwoods. These are the easiest places to pinpoint deer activity because dense swamps transition to cover for pressured deer. No matter where you are, pressured deer will use that cover to bed and move throughout the day. Creek bottoms provide everything a deer needs to survive: food, water, and cover. Hardwood ridges also provide food and, depending upon pressure, ideal bedding areas for deer. Unpressured deer often prefer ridges as bedding areas because the elevated terrain allows them to better position themselves to scan their surroundings and take advantage of thermals. In fact, deer generally bed on the highest ground possible and then feed at lower elevations. A third type of ecotone is where mature woods and logged areas meet. Deer love edges, especially where thick new growth borders old growth. These become natural travel corridors, especially in nondescript areas that consist of thousands of acres of otherwise unbroken forest. The fourth and final example of an ecotone would be simply a high point and a low point. Some areas, especially national forests that have low deer densities, consist of nothing more than mile after mile of over-mature forest. These areas are extremely difficult to hunt, but success can be had when a hunter keys off of subtle ecotone changes, such as high ridges, saddles between ridges, strips of cover between wilderness lakes, and ditches, drainages, and dry riverbeds. When hunting any piece of land, especially public land, never dismiss a thick tangle, a swamp, or a marshy area. If you think an area is too wet or too thick to hold deer, think again. Deer grow to maturity by seeking these areas and holding tight to them until hunting pressure decreases. In this week's Deer Product Spotlight, let's go over to Brad Rux, who's going to take a look at a new phone app that will help you find ecotones and read them more efficiently.
Hi, I'm Brad Rux from Deer Talk Now. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite apps for my phone, and that's Onyx Map. It is a mapping program that uses GPS coordinates to overlay different layers of maps. You can use aerial maps, topographical maps, or my favorite, the plot book. So basically, let's pretend I lease that property behind me. I can easily look at what the aerial photo looks with the plot book over the top of it and find out exactly where my property borders are. More importantly, I can find out who my neighbors are, because before the season starts or during the season, I want to find out each one of those neighbors, knock on the doors, introduce myself, and find out if I can track a deer in case one does go across on their land. The other thing that's really cool about this program is that it identifies public land. So again, you can use it in the same manner. You can take the aerial map of the public land, you can drop the plot book over the top of it and find every one of those boundaries. So you can find the hard to get to access areas. It'll give you an advantage. You can actually mark your stand sites on this using this program. It's a great little program. Check it out. It's huntinggpsmaps.com. Again, that's huntinggpsmaps.com.